One day no one calls, 1 week no one asks, 1 month no one touches your hand. And then your heart starts to believe your existence is no longer necessary. Not one text message, not one phone call. It is just silence. Silence so profound you can clearly hear the clock ticking in that empty room. Perhaps you are accustomed to that, but the truth is, your body is not used to it. Loneliness, it doesn't just make your heart feel empty. It can also make your heart weaken, truly weaken in the literal sense. Researchers have found the feeling of isolation after age 70 can be dangerous, even more than smoking, even more than obesity. It can raise the risk of stroke, memory loss, and even early death. So then the question is no longer just, do you feel lonely? But it is, are you letting loneliness silently steal away your own precious years of life without you ever even knowing? You are not the only one who has ever felt that way, but you could be the first among your friends to start changing things. There are 7 ways, so simple that you can do them right from today. And they have helped thousands of people after age 70 live much longer and much happier. You do not need to step outside your home daily. No need to start conversations with strangers. Just a little adjustment made every single day can help you reconnect with the world and with yourself. These are not some just for fun tips. They are constructed from real-world studies, from the very seniors who live well, live happily, and live for a very long time. You might not control the passage of years, but you absolutely can control that feeling of loneliness. If these matters do touch you, please continue watching this, because the very first thing I am about to share could completely change one of your days, and then your whole life too. Let's begin then. Sometimes just one short text or an unexpected call can brighten an entire long, quiet day. And that's why the very first thing, and the easiest too, is to maintain weekly contact with at least one relative. You think silence is just a feeling. Actually, every week no one calls. It's like a small poison pill, slowly seeping into your heart. Over 70, many people start to slow down, live more slowly, travel less. Consequently, conversations gradually become sparse. Not everyone is lonely, but many people start getting used to the silence without realizing it's silently affecting their health. In reality, there's one reason older people often neglect keeping in touch with relatives. They don't want to bother their children and grandchildren. Some fear calling at an inconvenient time. Others think, they're busy, I can manage. And just like that, day after day, month after month, the emotional distance widens without anyone noticing. But science actually shows the opposite. Many Harvard University studies have proven that close relationships, even with just one person, impact longevity more strongly than even diet or exercise. Older adults who regularly contact relatives often experience less depression, have better memory, and their cardiovascular health is also considerably more stable. Isolated older adults face a 45% increased risk of premature death, according to an 8-year Harvard study. Imagine 2 people, Mr. Robert, 74 in San Diego, California, calls his son every Sunday afternoon, even for just 10-15 minutes. Those brief chats make him feel he's still part of the family's life. He talks about his garden, asks how his grandson's studies are going, and just that makes him laugh more and sleep better. Conversely, Mrs. Ellen, 77, in a quiet Ohio suburb, though living near her daughter, rarely connects. She thinks she'll call when she's free. But then month after month, no one calls, no one asks. She starts sleeping more, eating less, and feels sad without knowing why. Her doctor diagnoses mild depression simply from lacking connection. After a few months, Mrs. Ellen forgets the day of the week, can't remember if she's eaten, and the doctor says that's the start of dementia. Mental isolation, if not recognized early, can lead to cognitive decline, high blood pressure, even premature death risk. A week with no check-in, then a month, then a year. And by then, loneliness isn't just a feeling, it's a serious health condition. The good news? You can change that, starting today. Just call a relative, a child, grandchild, or even an old friend, once a week. No need for long talks. Just hearing each other's voices, asking a few questions, is enough to nurture emotions and feel loved. If you don't call anyone, ask your child to call you, because no one should go a week without hearing a loved one's voice. Silence won't kill you instantly, but each week no one calls, each month no one asks, is how loneliness silently weakens your heart. One call a week is your way of telling life, I'm still living and I'm still needed. And when one weekly call has warmed your heart a bit, you'll feel readier for the next step. A small step to broaden connections, not just with relatives, but with your community. Your body won't sound an alarm when you stop meeting people, but it will start to fade each day in silence. Once past 70, many people begin living more quietly, not because they prefer tranquility, but because they think their time is over. I'm old now, who's there to talk to? That's a line I've heard many times from once active people. And so gradually they withdraw from community activities, decline gathering invitations, citing fatigue or fear of bothering others. But you know, that very thing makes mental and physical health decline faster than we imagine. Studies from Oxford University and the U.S. National Institute on Aging show older adults in community groups, whether book clubs, knitting, or dancing, have a 30% lower depression risk, better cognitive abilities, and live 5 to 7 years longer on average than those who are isolated. Picture two scenarios. Mr. Martin, 76, in Denver, Colorado, was very lonely after his wife died. One day he tried a nearby chess club just to check it out. Yet from then on, every Tuesday morning, he'd happily get ready, walk to the center, playing and laughing with new friends. After 6 months, his doctor said his blood pressure stabilized and his depression vanished. Meanwhile, Mrs. Grace, 79, in Sacramento, once loved painting, but quit upon retiring. She hesitated to go out, fearing she no longer fit in. She stayed home nearly all week, talking only to the TV and an old painting. A few months later, her daughter visited and found her mother didn't recognize the lunch she'd just eaten. The doctor said, "This isn't old age, it's chronic loneliness. Isolation, if it is prolonged, not only crushes spirits, but also impacts immunity, heart health, and brain function. You might not feel anything today, but over time, your body will silently retreat with you. But you don't need to do anything huge. Just try a local book club, a free art class at the community center, or a weekend choir. What matters isn't being skilled, but being present. Present in a space where you're heard, can laugh, and be yourself. Health sometimes isn't from pills or diets, but from simple chats over tea and a chessboard. You don't need to be the center of attention, just show up. Because sometimes just sitting in a room where someone calls your name is enough to keep your body wanting to live. No group of friends will reject you. Only you might not give yourself another reason to live alongside others. And when you're used to being present, even just once a week in a room with laughter, your name called, you'll see you're not redundant as you thought. For many, the next step to feeling more connected daily comes from something very small and close, a pet. An older person doesn't die from living alone, but because no one waits for them at home. And that's when the heart starts to slow, very gradually, unnoticed. When we live alone past 70, the house becomes quieter than ever. No familiar footsteps, no meals with someone opposite, and time drags on. Yet not everyone realizes this emptiness is slowly stealing their joy for life, and then, eventually, their health. Many older adults think, I'm too old to get a pet, or who'll care for it if I'm unwell? But by thinking this, they miss out on one of the best things, the quiet, sincere companionship of a small dog or a sweet cat. Studies from the American Heart Association and University of Michigan show seniors with pets often have more stable blood pressure, less stress, sleep deeper, and a markedly lower depression risk. Simply petting a cat has been shown to reduce stress hormones. Imagine two people. Mrs. Linda, 75, alone in Austin, Texas, adopts a small dog after her husband dies. Every morning she walks the dog, chatting with neighbors and their pets. All day, little paws follow her, and a wagging tail always greets her home. Her life gains routine, small joys, and her doctor notes a clear mood improvement. Conversely, Mr. Raymond, 78, in Spokane, Washington, Considered a cat but hesitated. What if I get frail? So he lived on in silence. Meals alone, no calls all day. He started sleeping by day, staying up late, losing interest in going out and everything around him. One night, Mr. Raymond fell in the bathroom, unknown to anyone. He lay there 2 hours before crawling out. Afterwards, he decided to keep living alone, without anyone, not even an animal. Though his health was okay, his spirit shrank like a closing door. Loneliness isn't always about having no one. It's about having no one to care for, to give love to. And a small animal can be the very tie connecting you back to feeling needed, loved, every day. If you're able to care for one, a cat or small dog won't take much, but will give more than you think. You could also start with fish or visit animal shelters to feel that connection. If no one waits for you home, your body will start believing no one needs you. But just one small creature, one pair of waiting eyes, is enough to give you purpose for another day. And when there are little paws in the house, eyes following you each morning, your heart will soften, but you'll also realize human connection remains essential. People don't lose their voice from illness, but because no one needs to hear them anymore. And then they withdraw from the world, very quietly. There's something few say outright, but many seniors silently feel. The older you get, the fewer people proactively call. Not because they forget, but because they think, I'm fine. But truth is that fine is sometimes just an appearance. Inside, time drags on, and a day without conversation is a day without color. Older adults often avoid calling, not wanting to bother. Many think, I have nothing new to say. A call is just a few questions, then goodbye. But sometimes just a text, how are you today, dear, can open up a loving connection. University of California studies show brief social interaction, about 10 to 15 minutes daily, significantly reduces loneliness and increases life satisfaction in those over 70. No need for long talks or deep confessions. Just presence through words, written or spoken, is enough. Picture two people. Mrs. Martha, 73, in Orlando, Florida, has a little habit. Every morning with her tea, she texts her granddaughter, have a good day. Her granddaughter doesn't always reply immediately, but a few times a week, they call and chuckle. Just that makes her days feel faster, her heart lighter. Conversely, Mr. Henry, 80, in a New Jersey senior living complex, keeps his phone close, but hardly anyone calls. He doesn't text thinking, the kids are busy, friends have their own lives. Day by day, he got used to silence, but also forgot what being heard felt like. At a checkup, his doctor noted mild depression, not from illness, but lack of communication. After a few months, Mr. Henry started confusing time, unsure of the day, or who called previously. The doctor said this is early cognitive decline from lack of communicative stimulation. Loneliness isn't necessarily being alone. It starts when you stop sharing with anyone. And then, like an unopened house, your soul gradually closes over the years. Every day, set aside 10 minutes. Call an old friend, text family, or simply send a morning greeting. You can set an alarm or jot down names in a notebook. A short call might not change the world, but for an older person, it could be the only thing keeping them in this world another day. And when you start sending a morning greeting, making a short afternoon call, you'll notice something strange. The more you connect, the warmer your heart feels. Then, if you want to take another step to feel not just loved, but useful, volunteering at a church or local community group could be a very meaningful choice. People don't age just by years, but because no one needs them anymore. And when your heart isn't asked for help, it starts to slow beat by beat. Many seniors once played vital roles in families, workplaces, communities, but with retirement, grown children, that role seems to fade. And then we quietly ask, am I still useful? A silent yet very real question. Feeling devalued makes many withdraw, though their hearts still crave connection. In fact, older adults often skip volunteering, thinking, I'm not strong enough, or let younger people do it. But they don't realize they are the ones bringing stability, warmth, and valuable experience the community needs. And this very giving back nurtures their mental and physical health daily. Research from Carnegie Mellon University and the U.S. National Institute on Aging shows those over 65 volunteering 2+ hours weekly have lower stress, better cognitive function, and a 40% reduced high blood pressure risk. Notably, they feel happier and more purposeful than non-volunteers. Picture this. Mrs. Esther, 78, in Salt Lake City, Utah, was a former elementary teacher. Retired, she felt superfluous. Until one day, her local church invited her to teach children Bible stories on Sundays. Since then, she has a clear schedule, outfits to prepare, and children's eager eyes awaiting her. She said, "I didn't realize how much I needed this." Meanwhile, Mr. Luis, 81, in El Paso, Texas, was a skilled carpenter. Talented and willing, he hesitated, fearing he'd bother others. Invited to make items for the church youth group, he always refused. "I'm old, my hands shake." He ended up watching TV, napping, his spirits sinking. His grandchildren saw he wasn't the lively grandpa he once was. His grandchild said, since he stopped going out, he rarely smiles or tells old stories. Doctors advised finding ways to get him back into community life before his mood declined further. A little contribution, a little sharing, sometimes not only helps the community, but also relights the spark within you. No one is too old to help someone, and no one is too tired to feel needed. You can start small, arrange chairs at church, help serve food at a free meal event, or simply read to children at the library. Just by being there, you're an indispensable part of the community. You don't need to do anything grand, just someone asking for your help, and your heart will remember you still have a reason to wake up tomorrow. And when you have rediscovered joy in lending a hand, you'll find you're not just living, you're truly present. Now, there's another way to stay connected, even if family is far, even at home, using technology for video calls. Not as hard as you think, but surprisingly effective at bringing closeness. Many seniors fade from family memory, not because they're gone, but because they don't appear in any calls, simply because they don't know how to turn on the camera. The older we get, the more we fear technology, not its complexity, but making mistakes. Seniors often think, I don't know how, I'm not good like the kids, or just, I don't need it. But really what we need isn't a new phone or fancy tablet, but closeness with loved ones, even hundreds of miles away. While family is busy living elsewhere, sometimes unable to visit often, video calls are a simple, emotional bridge. Just seeing a grandchild smile, hearing your child's voice is enough to soothe your heart. And most importantly, you're never too old to learn. Research from AARP and Stanford University shows seniors using video calls regularly with family have 34% higher life satisfaction, less loneliness, and significantly better memory and positivity. Regular video interaction helps seniors maintain memory, reducing dementia risk by up to 32%, per the 2022 Stanford Aging Report. Mrs. Carroll, 76, alone in Boise, Idaho, initially feared smartphones, scared of wrong clicks, of breaking it. But one day her granddaughter taught her Zoom and FaceTime in under 10 minutes. Now every Saturday night, Mrs. Carroll video dates her family. They laugh, share stories, she reads to the little one, and she feels young again. Conversely, Mr. Thomas, 82, in Chicago, though having modern devices, dared not use them. He was shy to ask, fearing he'd look tech illiterate. Once his daughter sent a video of his grandchild walking. He didn't open it, afraid of misclicking. So he rarely heard his daughter's voice, never saw his grandchild walk. This made him feel left behind, though really one tap could connect him to his family's life. Distance isn't just miles, it's in the heart. And technology, used right, can magically shrink that distance. You don't need to understand everything. Just sit down once, let family show you the camera, call button, or a simple app. You learn to cook, play chess, manage meds. You can learn video calls. It's just as important. After a few tries, you'll get it. And then, each ring means you're about to see what matters most, a loving face. Because ultimately, happiness isn't just living long, but feeling never forgotten, even through a small screen. Faces you haven't seen in months. One tap can bring them right to you. Don't let one tap be the only thing between you and what's most important, feeling you still belong. And once you've learned to connect via a small screen, you'll see distance isn't so scary. But another thing is just as crucial, having something to look forward to each day. Seniors don't die from age, but from having nothing that makes them want to get up early. And when the schedule is empty, their minds start to dim, day by day. After 70, many realize time passes very slowly, with nothing to anticipate. No more work, no meetings, no one reminding you to rise early or go out. Sounds relaxing, but purposeless days can make you forget why you get out of bed. Older adults usually don't isolate themselves intentionally, but without fixed activities, they drift. Not going out today, nor tomorrow. Gradually, a whole week passes, no one knows what you're doing, and you start to forget. When did you last truly live? A University of Pittsburgh study found seniors with clear routines, especially regular weekly activities, have a 35% lower depression risk and notably improve sleep, memory, and mobility. Look at two people. Mrs. Nancy, 79, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, has a simple weekly schedule. Monday groceries, Wednesday gentle yoga, Friday calls an old friend, Sunday church. These small things give her something to await. Every day she's up early, gets ready, has a reason to go out, someone to talk to. Then there's Mr. Samuel, 80, in a small Oregon town with no clear schedule. He sleeps when tired, eats when convenient, no appointments, no commitments. His days are identical, passing like blank pages. Initially, he said, "I like this freedom," but months later confessed, "I feel like I'm slowly disappearing." Without fixed activities, mind and body lose direction. The biggest danger, you won't realize it until you're too far adrift. What you need to do is simple. Create a light weekly schedule, not packed, just 2 or 3 fixed activities like a gentle exercise class, a friend meetup, market day, or simply Thursday afternoon tea and a call to your daughter. You can also hang a calendar where you'll see it, reminding you each morning there's something to anticipate, because ultimately, living isn't about killing time, but feeling each day is meaningful. If you don't actively schedule your life, time will fill you with silence, and you deserve a colorful week, even from small, regular activities. You've just journeyed with me through 7 small ways to connect, to be happier after 70. Perhaps during this video, you paused a few times, realizing you might have missed something very simple yet so precious. Maybe that call you meant to make last week, an invitation to a community group you declined, or the eyes of a stray cat waiting at your door. The truth is, loneliness doesn't knock loudly. It creeps in silently. Through each day, no one calls. Through every dinner eaten alone. And then we get used to that quiet, until it settles deep in our hearts. But luckily, connection isn't loud either. It comes from a kind word, a gentle hug, an afternoon when a stranger becomes a friend. Just open your heart a little and light will find its way in. So, what will you do first today? Call someone. Sign up for that art class, dance class, or simply open your window and smile at a passerby. Don't let this video be just another one you've scrolled past. Let it be a reminder that you deserve connection, deserve to be heard, and deserve to live your remaining years with warmth in your heart. If this resonated with you, why not share it with a friend? Maybe they need to hear this too, or drop a line in the comments. I'm still here, and I'm starting again. You don't need to change your whole life, just begin with one small step. And today, is the perfect time. Thanks so much for listening. Slow down a bit and take care of yourself, starting with the smallest things.